It's a new team and a new season. It's the IFL home opener for the Cedar Rapids River Kings as they get set to take on the Sioux Falls Storm. All the action coming up next right here on MC22.
Same tonight. Fake to Gale, wide open. Got a man, nice.
Welcome inside the U.S. Cellular Center, downtown Cedar Rapids. IFL football for you tonight as the Cedar Rapids River Kings host the Sioux Falls Storm. Good evening and welcome. Rob Brooks, pleased to be joined by Jerry Koala. And Jerry, kind of a new era here in Cedar Rapids for indoor football.
Absolutely, and I'm really enthused about that new era with the River Kings being here. And I'm also, Rob, equally as enthused about the league strengthening itself, with the addition of some new teams. And, we'll talk about that as the broadcast go along. But for the River Kings, I think what they really did was bringing back Mark Stout, help this program out a lot because there's a lot of new players. But playing Sioux Falls, a team, a perennial United Bowl participant, is a team that you got to really look out for. So I think tonight's game is going to be a nice kickoff.
Let's talk about a couple of quarterbacks, too, because a familiar name for indoor football fans, Lorenzo Brown, one of the best run-pass quarterbacks this league has ever seen.
Well, I think durability is what keys him because he's been around for 9 years, and he's the leading passer in IFL history. But he can run the football, he can pass the football. He's a great leader on the football field, so he certainly is what the Sioux Falls Storm need.
And head coach Mark Stout, among others, excited to see Kurt Palandek and see what he brings to the table. An experienced college player, but playing his first indoor game.
He's good with the run. He's good with the pass. At least he proved that at UNLV as a college quarterback. Mark Stout's been one of the best coaches to work with young talent to bring them along quickly because that's what they're going to have to do tonight.
Yeah, both of these teams very young. We're excited to get this one going. Sioux Falls and Cedar Rapids coming up next on MC22. Cedar Rapids River Kings football on Mediacom MC22 is brought to you by the McGrath family of dealerships, Clifton Larson Allen, 5 Seasons Tire, Sally's on Broadway in Springville, Comfort Care Home Health Care, Clark's Health Mart Pharmacy, and by Extreme, powered by Mediacom.
1 gig is the future, and Mediacom provides the most complete coverage. America's first 100% 1 gig technology network, offering gigabit speeds in every market we serve. In town or out of town, big city or rural, you've got access to the fastest. We know the future will demand more speed, so we've built a network to give you the most. 1,500 communities, 2.7 million homes, 100% 1 gig.
It's time to get extreme. It's time for 1 gig download speeds and whole home Wi-Fi that's just as fast. It's time to experience TiVo and personalized TV that lets you live it live in any room. Every channel on every device. Your tablet, your cell, your call. Extreme packages with all-in-one TV and internet are on sale now. Experience the X Factor. Call 844-EXTREME2.
Connecting every device, every room, and everyone. That's the power of Extreme. And it keeps getting better with a new multi-point Wi-Fi system that covers your whole home. So you get insanely fast speeds here, here, and here. An all-new standard of technology that makes every TV smarter. And new ways for you to connect with us, like being able to see when your tech will arrive. Technology is awesome. We take it to the extreme.
Extreme. It's the one thing that connects everything. Supercharging every device with hyperactive speeds up to 1 gig and supersonic whole home Wi-Fi. Bringing your favorite apps and favorite channels together in one hub. With Extreme voice-activated remote, search everything. Find anything. Now any screen is a TV screen, and every room has the hyperspeed you need. Your total home transformation is here. Experience Extreme.
Welcome back inside the U.S. Cellular Center. Rob Brooks and Jerry Koala as we get set for opening night IFL football here in Cedar Rapids for 2019. Sioux Falls and the River Kings. And let's take a look, Jerry, at the keys to the game. First off, for the visitors, who most IFL fans should know how successful of a franchise this has been.
And the strongest franchise in the last decade for sure. They need to get off to a quick scoring start. They've got the best quarterback in the league, and you need a strong quarterback to run the team. So they need to get off to a good scoring start here against the River Kings. And then disruptive defense. In other words, River Kings don't have much of an offense set yet. They're going to find out tonight what they're made of. So they got to disrupt that defense.
5 Seasons Tire brings us the keys to the game. How about for the River Kings?
They can't come in here thinking that they're young. We got to work. We got to perform as veterans here is what this River Kings offense has to do. And then they got to limit Lorenzo's production. They can't let him get loose on the run, and they certainly can't. They got to get some pressure on him in the pass.
Dangerous for sure is Lorenzo Brown, the quarterback for Sioux Falls, as Henry Nell, kicker out of South Africa. As Miller will be back deep for Sioux Falls, 12-4 last season. Here's Miller. Pretty good opening out past midfield. He is taken care of by Phillips and also Malik Slater. In on the tackle for Mark Stout and the River Kings.
As we see with a lot of kickoffs, Rob, they use the carpet to their advantage, where they want to get a lot of hops if they can and have that ball bounce over the top of the return man. Just fortunately, he was able to catch it on the 9 and return it into River Kings territory.
So Lorenzo Brown and the Sioux Falls Storm will have the football first. Last year for Brown, 63% passer, threw for over 2,200 yards. And he is equally as difficult to stop in the run game. And he wants it all right away. And it is down to the 5-yard line. Brandon Shepard in on the catch. As we take a look at the starting lineups, we talked about Brown. Darian Miller will be the running back, and a really good group of wide receivers. And then Hickman and Martin, two of the best offensive linemen in the league. Both all IFL performers a season ago. Melvin Owens getting his first start. And the handoff, and Miller into the end zone, and just like that, Sioux Falls strikes first.
The offensive line handling that defensive line right now. They've got a mountain for an offensive line. All 3 of their offensive linemen, as you see them, they're all 6'6", 6'7", and 320 pounds. And they block well, move well, so they're going to open up some gaps for those running backs to run through.
So that only took 2 plays for Sioux Falls. Miles Bergner, first team all IFL kicker a season ago. And it's perfect right through the uprights for the extra point. So if you're Sioux Falls, couldn't ask for a better start here tonight.
That's what we talked about. They need to get off to a good scoring start. There's Lorenzo. They got to focus on Lorenzo. And that offensive line did a nice job of creating a gap for Miller to run through. He found it. He only had 4 yards to go, but Cedar Rapids got to learn. They got to react a lot faster. We'll talk about it, but the middle linebacker is a vital part of that defense. He's got to be able to run laterally. He's got to pick up keys. He's got to be able to put pressure on the quarterback. And on those 2 plays, neither of that happened.
So Wade and Chavius will be back deep for Cedar Rapids. Markel Wade, of course, outstanding season last year here in Cedar Rapids, where he was a first-team all-IFL performer. Bergner, the kicker out of South Dakota. First-team all-IFL last year and was 3rd in the IFL in scoring with 143 points, which means you play on a team that has a really good offense. And number 2, you've been very productive. Wade for the River Kings. Nifty move. and gets into Sioux Falls territory before he is dropped by DeAndre Scott.
Just a quick jitterbug head and shoulders fake right about the 9-yard line. You see he kept it in front of him, got the right bounce, looking for someone to run through. Look at that head and shoulders fake right there. Runs right by a would-be tackler. Gives Cedar Rapids great field position in Sioux Falls territory.
So Mark Stout, who had 4 terrific seasons here in Cedar Rapids, 2013 through 2016, 4 straight conference championship games. Just could not get over the hump against Sioux Falls in the postseason. And they'll keep it on the ground. Chavius gets the carry.
Nice gain, nice offensive line play, but quick. That ball got snapped back to Palandek quickly, and he was able to hand off to Chavius, who had some running room.
And as we know Mark Stout from the past, as we take a look at the Cedar Rapids River Kings starting lineup, Palandek, the quarterback, Jordan Mosley, a returner. But a lot of youth on this football team.
Yeah, they really do. A few rookies, first, second-year players even that don't have a lot of experience, but these are guys that are trying to build their own resume to try to make it up to another level. We've got some nice athletes as we went through the roster here of these players, Rob. They've come from some football programs, whether it's at the Division I level, 2 or 3, NAIA players, but they've all come with good credibility.
So there's the first casualty of the game already. It's the first down marker. Needs a little bit of work. Avius again runs hard as we've got a flag right around the 15-yard line.
I think you're going to call Linwood Foy with a hold, but I think it was just the defensive end was trying to get to the outside and keep that contained. Linwood just took him out.
So Kurt Palandek getting his
offense, number 60, 10 yards, spot the foul, replay, second down.
And there's the holding call. Palandek out of UNLV, also played in North Dakota and then spent a season at the junior college level as well. Started 6 games in 3 years for the Rebels. Also played a little baseball as well. Wade makes the catch. He was open for a long time and then is crushed against the boards as he gets inside the 15-yard line.
Tremendous offensive line play. Allowed Palandek to have that time to look him off and then come back to him. Made some significant yards back.
Sioux Falls defensively. Ring Wofford one to watch. An all-IFL performer. DJ Neal in that important linebacker position and Claude Davis up front.
We've had tremendous linebackers over the past. Remember Tyler Knight.
Yeah, one of the best, if not the best. Davis, 19.5 career sacks. And Wade again makes the catch down around the 10-yard line, and very productive in a pretty good offense a season ago. Jerry here in Cedar Rapids led the IFL with 64 receptions.
Well, Jake Medlock was that quarterback last year, and he was the league leader in passing. And and Stout has been able to work with quarterbacks and bring them along, but he gets them to understand how proper it is for timing and execution, and that's what that was for a short gain and a first down.
And the ball loose. Davis gets in there. Palandek as well, and he is able to get in there first and hang on to it because Davis was trying to pry the football away from him.
The linebacker or the defensive lineman stronger than the quarterback.
And Curtis Riggs, a terrific guy to talk to. And how about the success that he has had? So this is year 17, right, Curtis? Yeah, something like that.
And 10 IFL titles, something like that.
Including 6 in a row, but not the last 2. They have got to the United Bowl, but have lost on a couple of occasions. Lost to Arizona in 2017, and then the Iowa Barnstormers won a close game last year at 42-38. And Mark Stout, a successful era of this franchise here in Cedar Rapids, had a regular season record of 45-24.
And success has been with him in his entire career. He's been in arena football leagues. He's been in indoor football leagues all over the country. You know, he's so football oriented and savvy. You know, he knows how to get these players to play and get them to win.
Has great connections for indoor football players around the country. Tremendous success. Very well thought of amongst football people in the country.
And that's why the River Kings, the management, upper management, you know, they're asking, who do we want to have as our head coach? And I'll guarantee that it was a consensus of a guy by the name of Mark Stout if he's available.
Hallendeck, and he can run with it. Gets inside the 1, just about got himself into the end zone.
Got some sweet feet, doesn't he? Watch him dance through the pocket here and find the opening. Can't find anybody downfield. Watch his feet. He moves quick. Yeah, he's got a good, quick first step. Gets him his speed. All the way down to the 1.
DJ Neal on the stop. Played at the University of Illinois, and there was a grad transfer. Played his final season of college football at Auburn. And that's going to be a River Kings touchdown. As Chavius hits the first 6 on the board for River Kings football.
Interesting setup what they had with their motion people. Started them in motion, brought them back, and divided them. So you're just mixing up the defense here a little bit, getting them to go in different directions, and it allowed Chavius to find that opening on the outside.
And now with the extra point, pushes that one right through. It's perfect, and just like that, each team, Jerry, has had a possession. Both have put 7 points on the board.
I think for Cedar Rapids especially, it showed them that all the work they put into preparing for this football game is working. You know, they've scored on their very first possession. They did it in a variety of ways. They had a holding penalty in there. And once they get in that red zone, got to get it across the goal line, and Chavius doing just that. Look at the block. You see the linemen downfield. You see those receivers doing their job as well. No penetration. Didn't have to sidestep any hazards.
Kimbrough and Smith, good blocking from that wide receiver position on the left side.
Well, the new era underway, Rob. I think they're pleased today. It's a long game to go, but best way to start. They didn't stumble through anything. They have only had one mishap, you know, when the Stout had to take that time out, but they got it straightened out and kept going forward.
Did put the ball on the floor one time, but able to recover it quickly. Now, a high hopper to Miller. Spins away from 1 and get out past midfield. Ricky Johnson. And on the stop has some ties to indoor football here in Cedar Rapids.
He likes Cedar Rapids. A lot of these guys like Cedar Rapids. I'll tell you what, if Ricky Johnson doesn't grab onto his jersey, Miller's in for a score, because the whole 6 players for Cedar Rapids were all in the same line. Nobody breaks down. Nobody takes their angles to bring him down. And fortunately, Ricky there to grab onto that jersey and have enough strength to pull him down. Yeah, Cedar Rapids is a wonderful sports town, as you know, with the variety of activities that go on.
Many dignitaries here tonight, including the commissioner of the league. Falls House is out for the coin toss. The Quad Cities Steamwheelers played last night.
They've won their first indoor football league game. I guess the San Diego team that we'll be able to see.
Across the middle, and it's incomplete as Ford, the intended receiver, got good size at 6'3", 200. This is how the River Kings will stack up defensively. Ricky Johnson, who we talked about. Huff Johnson, another former Cedar Rapids player. Slater at that linebacker position. And Miller nowhere to go. Good job by Branch.
Penetrated nicely. Read where the play was going. You'll see him go right at the top of your screen. Here he comes. Feeding off that interior defensive line. That's a great penetration.
And Malik Slater out of Valdosta State in there to deliver a blow.
Get the water, open the door, get the water. Their first charge timeout of the half.
Storm will take their first timeout here in the first half. A 7-7 football game. And that's to be expected, Jerry. The first game, though you've got a veteran quarterback, this is probably the youngest team that Sioux Falls has ever put out on the field. They've got 7 players back from a season ago, and typically they have at least double that. That's why they've been such a successful franchise. Curtis Riggs at 121-23 in his career with the Storm, but they got some youth in a lot of positions this year as well.
Bring back experience and talented experience. You're going to have some successful seasons, which they did for 6 consecutive years before the last 2, but they were still playing in that United Bowl. But they don't ever remember who got second place. They only remember who won it. But Sioux Falls has been the model program for a decade easily.
Marched out. Made that well known in his first stint here. That's who everybody's gunning for. That's what you're trying to model. Success after is the Storm franchise. A little movement up front. A flag does come out, and Brown goes down back at the 15-yard line. In there quickly, Eric Banford out of Western Carolina.
Took a while to get there. It looks to me as if it will be an illegal procedure penalty against Sioux Falls. But I imagine they'll decline it to take the quarterback sack. Yeah, Banford did a nice job. 6'2", 275-pounder in his 5th year of indoor league. Knows what it's like to play this game. Big, strong kid.
That's what those veterans need to do, Jerry, is perform early on to bring the younger players getting used to.
Number 98 out of his stance at the snap. 5-yard penalty remains 3rd down.
They're going to take the penalty.
It's going to go against Cedar Rapids. Bunting, referee tonight. With Kennedy, Jeff Carlson, Mr. Ludeman, Caps. With a lot of time and effort into helping the IFL product. Talk about the veterans. It's so important for them to perform early on and really help the young players get established from the outdoor game to the indoor game.
And they got a short time to do it, too. Otherwise, it won't be on that roster very long.
Brown. And it's batted away. Terrific job by Ricky Johnson. Now that's a all IFL type of defensive play here.
And from left to right is the receiver going across. You see the time that Brown has to throw. Nice delivery, and there's Ricky Johnson right there knocking it away for Damian Ford.
Ricky Johnson played here in Cedar Rapids 2014. second on the team in tackles with 72, and then got promoted to Tampa Bay a couple of years ago. Played in the AFL. 31-yard field goal attempt by Bergner. And it is good. So Miles Bergner, who did have an NFL tryout with the Cleveland Browns, first team All-IFL a season ago, 22 of 34 field goals last year, 1 for 1 here in 2019. Sioux Falls goes up by 3, 10-7, 5-30. Left to go in the first.
One gig is the future, and Mediacom provides the most complete coverage. America's first 100% 1 gig technology network, offering gigabit speeds in every market we serve. In town or out of town, big city or rural, you've got access to the fastest. We know the future will demand more speed, so we've built a network to give you the most. 1,500 communities, 2.7 million homes, 100% 1 gig.
Connecting every device, every room, and everyone. That's the power of Extreme. And it keeps getting better with a new multi-point Wi-Fi system that covers your whole home. So you get insanely fast speeds here, here, and here. An all-new standard of technology that makes every TV smarter. And new ways for you to connect with us, like being able to see when your tech will arrive. Technology is awesome. We take it to the extreme.
Miles Bergner hits the ball on the tee after a 31-yard field goal. He gives his team a 10-7 lead, 5:30 left to go here in the first. That was a good job by that Cedar Rapids defense. Got a sack as that ball over the boards and out of bounds.
Laid it on the tee in watermelon style. He was hoping to pooch it and have it, roll, get some awkward bounces.
And certainly keep that ball away from Markel Wade.
Yeah, good job of that Cedar Rapids defense, Rob. Keep that Sioux Falls Storm offense. The Ricky Johnson pass breakup, I think, was evidence of that. Kept them to a field goal. The River Kings a chance now to pick up another score, maybe get their first lead of the season.
So Kurt Palendek, who won the job, tight battle during training camp. They'll keep it on the ground and get out to the 21. And Mark Stout, his staff, keeping things pretty simple here for the first-year starting quarterback. Let him get used to things, but as we well know, that Mark Stout is a big proponent in the IFL for running the football.
He's had some pretty good runners over the years.
Never forget the season LaRon Council had here. Palendek gets rid of it. And Chavius makes a move and gets inside the 20. So the short passing game has worked well for the River Kings so far.
Palendek doing a nice job of hanging in that pocket. He took a shot from the right defensive end. You'll see him coming here. Is Claude Davis. Chavius getting out in that left flat area. Nice soft hands, picks up the reception, and then runs for a first down. Got some good quick speed as he gets off after he catches that football.
And he'll come over to the sidelines. As Phillips will come in for Cedar Rapids. Standing right next to Palendek. There's plenty of time, really good protection. And here is Phillips, first time that he has touched the ball tonight, and gets inside the 10-yard line.
Well-coached quarterback here, Rob. He's nothing downfield, but you have your running back at is off in the left flat. That's Phillips, as you had mentioned. Can't find anybody downfield. You got to dump it off. And that's because that middle linebacker for Sioux Falls, TJ Neal, is rushing. That opens up that short passing game.
Neal won the job there. Galen Young. And here's Smith, Jordan Smith, who played in Cedar Rapids a season ago, and he's the slot guy. And run that jet sweep package throughout the season. And Jordan actually caught 44 passes for 363 yards a season ago.
And it's shown here that he can run the football too. He's got to be dual threat here in this league to stay on the field a long time. You'll see the timing of this is what's the important part of it. As he comes in motion, cuts across the formation, he can't be within tackles when that ball is snapped. So the timing is of utmost importance.
Claude Davis in on the stop. Top defensive lineman around the league. Alan Deck just has to get rid of that. Good smart move. Didn't see anything he liked in the end zone. Just get rid of the football.
Yeah, don't try to force anything right now. Mark Stout talking to him right there. He's telling him, one of those receivers back there run the proper route to be able to get open. I think Palandek may have misread the left side of that defensive backfield.
Smith and Wade come in motion. Alan Deck looks that way and then goes opposite, and it is incomplete as Phillips had his hands on it as a flag comes out. Really good defense that time by Sioux Falls.
It's going to be a post-play penalty against the River Kings. There's been some extra blocking going on. Neal did a nice job to get out there, though, and get after Phillips.
Did a good job to pry the football away.
After the play's over with, dead ball, unnecessary roughness, offense, number 60, 15 yards, third down.
So that's a costly one for the River Kings.
I think the Oscars are tomorrow night, aren't they, Rob?
I think so.
Well, I think Foy was thinking that it was a fumble, and that's why he ran over to the wall to pick up the football and then
catch and fumble.
And then Charles Williams is on his way over there to greet him with that.
Well, he went down pretty easily that time, didn't he? Alan Deck goes deep, has his man, Wade for 6.
Wow. What a precise pass that was by Palandek.
21 yards, and he put it to a place, Jerry, that only the first-team All-IFL performer last year could go get it.
And interestingly enough, with the short field that Palandek had to work with, he threw the ball right at the right time. Otherwise, if he waits an extra half a second, that ball is incomplete.
Now with the extra point. And he slips that one right through, and despite the penalty, that just gave some more room for Cedar Rapids in which to work, and it paid off with a 21-yard pass and catch. Palandek to Wade.
And we really got to give Javen Christian a chance to some credit here. He came in to fill for Foy, who was taken out of the game because of the unnecessary roughness, and he takes his defensive lineman across the formation in front of Palandek, giving Palandek plenty of time to find Wade for the touchdown.
Time-consuming drive, 7 plays that covered 30 yards. It took 4 minutes and 36 seconds. The one thing about some ball control is that it keeps a very potent offense like Sioux Falls has off the field.
No question about it. Give that defense a chance to rev up here a little bit. Defense has played pretty well. And a lead, the first lead that the River Kings have had in 2019. they're playing very well right now. I think that preparation again, and we know we've talked a lot about Mark Stout and how he prepares teams. He's such a student of the game.
When he has really liked what he has seen from this team throughout camp, just didn't know exactly what would happen when the lights were turned on, the bright lights, but so far so good. On the move is Chapman, and he's going to take it for 6 just like that. Sioux Falls strikes. That's a 48-yard kickoff return.
Wow. Well, again, that first line of defense, the Cedar Rapids has everybody in a line, and if you can get between 2 of them, you've gotten past 6 of them, the first 6 of 7, and then you may only have the kicker left. And there's shown, I guess Chapman, I guess this time, they've shown that they can return the football very nicely and get into good field position.
Bergner on for the extra point. Right through. So special teams, they go to work for the Sioux Falls Storm, who regain a 3-point advantage, 17-14. End of the first.
One gig is the future, and Mediacom provides the most complete coverage. America's first 100% 1 gig technology network, offering gigabit speeds in every market we serve. In town or out of town, big city or rural, you've got access to the fastest. We know the future will demand more speed, so we've built a network to give you the most. 1,500 communities, 2.7 million homes, 100% 1 gig.
Connecting every device, every room, and everyone. That's the power of Extreme. And it keeps getting better with a new multi-point Wi-Fi system that covers your whole home. So you get insanely fast speeds here, here, and here. An all-new standard of technology that makes every TV smarter. And new ways for you to connect with us, like being able to see when your tech will arrive. Technology is awesome. We take it to the extreme.
So Bergner gets set to kick off. Avon Chapman, big time return, and man that likes to write poetry and might have been able to scribe a couple of lines after that return.
It'll take long to get into a little rhyming poetry there.
A little poetry in motion on that return. Here's Wade, and nowhere for him to go, as he is bottled up inside the 5-yard line.
Nice kickoff. It went over the top of Wade, as we talked about. They used that floor very well. Get a lot of some slick bounces. On the top of Wade, he had to go back 3 yards deep to pick it up. By then, he's converged on by a number of white jerseys.
So the first quarter, just full of momentum swings, as it is Sioux Falls to start, then Cedar Rapids picked it up, and then after that return by Chapman, Storm able to put 7 more on the board to gather a 3-point advantage, but just underway here in the second quarter.
Sioux Falls ran 5 plays in that first quarter. The Cedar Rapids River Kings ran 13.
Now on deck. And he threw in one direction. Wade turned inside, but we've got a penalty marker.
Legal defense, number 15, out of the stance before the snap. 5 yards, remains, first down.
That'll be called on Claude Davis up front. He had 25 tackles and 2.5 sacks a season ago out of the University of South Florida.
Yeah, they really got to hold that position tight. Non-rhythmic cadence can sometimes throw those defenders off, and they move when they change their position prior to the snap of the football. It's a penalty.
So a little bit more room for Cedar Rapids. Allendeck, who's had good protection, gets it out to Kimbrough. Nice route.
Give some cushion. Give 5 to 7 yards of cushion. Throw that short 8 to 10 yard hook pattern, which is what they did exactly right here. Allendeck looking to his right, and here's your hook pattern. See the distance between Kimbrough and the defensive back.
Kimbrough, an outside receiver, good size at 6'4". Back to the ground. And Phillips will pound out a couple more yards and get past the 20. The stop is Brandon Robeson, defensive lineman at 6'3", 300.
It's a lot of man to have to block. And he himself then have to fight off that offensive lineman to find that running back. To a short game.
There you see Phillips. He comes out wide right. And a deep pass play. There's Smith. Catch. Touchdown. But we do have a penalty marker back at the 21-yard line.
Going right away as the ball was being snapped.
Legal defense, number 15, out of his stance at the snap. That penalty is declined. Touchdown.
The 6 stays on the board. And Jordan Smith, his first reception tonight. Sure, he did have 44 catches for 363 a season ago. I talked to Mark Stout before the game. I thought Jordan was a really productive guy when he got his opportunities a season ago. And there's production on his first catch of the season.
Did a nice job of running around right down the seam, and he was found by Palandeck easily. And what they have to do is, it's a guessing game between the kind of patterns to run as an offense against the defense and how they're setting up their defensive backfield. And this one worked right now. For whatever reason, the defensive back, Trey Wofford, battled with Smith 12 yards downfield and then let him go. Not sure what Wofford was reading at that point, but Smith did the right thing. Take off, go downfield, and Palandeck finds him. This offensive line, and actually both offensive lines, have done a nice job to protect their quarterbacks, minus the one sack that the River Kings had against Lorenzo Brown.
No, but very impressive, the blocking up front. And especially in the pass game where both teams, and especially Cedar Rapids, Allendeck's had plenty of time to survey the field.
Good sharp quarterback who really knows how to read. You come from a running and passing program, you kind of can just transition right into the indoor football league, which becomes really the same thing. Just fewer players, shorter field, narrower field.
He plays 47 yards. Here is Miller. And he is smacked at about the 16-yard line.
Much better coverage, but got a better kickoff as well. It didn't allow the return man a chance to get a full head of steam and find an opening.
That's one thing when you talk about that return game, too. Obviously, you have to be in position, stay in your lane, but that kickoff matters so much to be put into the right position.
There's strategies to it, with your own, you're going to look at fans in the groove here.
Well, just a great night here, too, because River Kings, they partnered with the Boys and Girls Club to give those kids an opportunity to get out on the field before the game. A flag is out as Miller is on the move. And he will take it into the end zone, so that'll be 6 as of now. We'll see what the flag is back at the 20-yard line.
He was had at the line of scrimmage.
I think this is going to go against Cedar Rapids.
Number 22, inside the belt, not Mary. That will be declined, touchdown.
So 33-yard touchdown run by Miller.
75 is eligible.
You see him get hit right away, right there. You just can't take him down. Jeff Branch had him. You know, and that's the thing about that. You've got to wrap up and tackle. Otherwise, you know, plays like that break, because I think the other teammates see that you've hit him. It may let up just a little bit, and all of a sudden he's gone.
Extra point is good by Bergner. Some of the big activity as we take a look at this run. Just initially got through, and then some good downfield blocking, and then just a race to just get into the end zone by Darian Miller. Fans around the state of Iowa might remember that name, a UNI product.
Both putting out good football players up there, Northern Iowa. Now you can see that whole influence. Everybody was pushing to the left, and all Miller does is cut back to the right. He's had a lot of football field to work with. We're watching Tough Johnson here tonight. You know, Tough. You know, he always had great spirit when he played here. You know, I mean, sometimes a little bit over the top, but
really fun to watch play the game.
He's been having nice little communication with Curtis Riggs. You know, I mean, he's played against Sioux Falls for at least this must be the 4th year, you know, of that. And you know, a good PR guy, what Tough Johnson is. He's been having some conversations with Sioux Falls coach Curtis Riggs.
Well, here's how long he's been playing the game. 2008 was named the IFL Rookie of the Year. He played for the Billings Outlaws. Also spent some time on the New York Giants practice squad. So he has played some big-time football at a lot of different levels. Wade still going. Shows some toughness to get inside the 10-yard line.
That's a good speed. Picked it up over in the right corner of the end zone. Just look for a gap. All you need is speed and the ability to slice between players. You see him run these. There's 5 jerseys right there. He runs away from 3 more at the 10-yard line.
He was going to knock over about anybody that got in his way.
One of his home players is standing there. Probably hit him just to keep him upright.
That was DeAndre Scott. Only knocked him out of bounds. So terrific field position after a 40-yard maneuver. And how about that fake into the end zone? Palandek, his first rushing touchdown in indoor football.
You know, big Mark Stout's not a little afraid to take a risk there. And Palandek, you know, I mean, so they've been practicing for 2 weeks now, and he's recognizing Palandek's ability to be deceptive. Watch this. Rides him all the way in. Look at that defense. They just all lost. All chasing that football. They want that running back to have that ball so they can bring him down.
Well, connects. And just like that, Cedar Rapids regains the lead at 28-24. This has been up and down the field so far here in the first half.
We only played not even well over 4 minutes of the second quarter, so 2 plays by each team, a play by each team and a touchdown, and then Cedar Rapids to begin the quarter had 3 plays and 47 yards and scored on that 21-yard pass to Jordan Smith. So that's what the Indoor Football League, that's what Arena Football League is all about, is high-scoring games. We'll see which defense can step it up to stop the other.
And both teams, for the most part, Jerry, especially in the first game of the season, doing a good job taking care of it. And Allenbeck very impressed with his running and throwing ability in his first ever indoor football game.
Really seems to be very composed in that pocket. Reads the defenses very well, picking out receivers. And runs for a 10-yard touchdown pass. That's what all that running ability can do, is can set up a nice misdirection play, a nice play-action play. Run for the score.
Chapman back deep. Ball's touched by Miller. Chapman finally. And while that was taking place, nowhere to go as the blue jerseys converge. These two franchises have gone at it several years, regular season and playoffs. Cedar Rapids, one of the few teams that have beat Sioux Falls. And Mark Stout was the one that was able to do it.
They've never beat Sioux Falls in Sioux Falls, as you alluded to at the beginning of this broadcast. Every time they played there, well, not every, but many times they played there, been in the playoffs, that crucial divisional championship game. But yes, they beat them here.
So 1st and 10 for Lorenzo Brown and the Sioux Falls Storm. And right up the middle, Miller gets out to the 22. Newbold and the stop for the River Kings.
You set plays up like that. They're just such quick hitters right over the middle. You've got to react to it as a defense. Through those first three defensive linemen, if your linebacker isn't in position to make the stop, boy, it puts a lot of pressure on those defensive backs. Bring him down.
Newbold out of Illinois State. Good program in the Missouri Valley Conference. And this will be Miller again. Nowhere to go, but we do have a flag down on the play. Isaiah Matthews made the stop from his defensive line position at 6'2", 320.
Legal defense, number 6, linebacker, not stationary at the snap. 5-yard penalty, replay, first down.
And that's been the most popular call tonight on both teams.
This one goes against the linebacker out there, Malik Slater. He was moving. Don't know if he was just hopping in place, and I guess you can't do that either. I suppose for these officials, Rob, they're trying to shake off the cobwebs too and get things squared away.
Brown deep and wide open is Shepard, and he gets into the end zone. Nobody in the neighborhood that time for Cedar Rapids.
It came from the left side, slipped underneath the coverage and behind the linebacker Slater. Himself wide open on that right side. You see him on the top of the screen. And Lorenzo Brown, plenty of time to find him. One zone defenses, you find yourself losing track of a receiver or two now and then.
Shepard, good size at 6'2", out of Oklahoma State. Pass play covered 24 yards. Bergner stays perfect. Bergner and also Nell getting a workout here in the first half.
Well, as a fan, Rob, this is enjoyable. They've come here to see some football played and scored, whatever. But as a coach, it drives you nuts.
Plenty of action. It's 31-28. Sioux Falls as we seesaw back and forth.
MediaCom, we took our internet to the extreme, building you a fiber-rich network that gives you the hyper-speed you need. 100% gigabit technology, 99% reliability, We wanted to bring you the best streaming, gaming, music, and more. And we're proud to be recognized a top internet provider again and again and again. Thank you for making us your #1 choice. We're proud to take you to the extreme.
With Extreme, everything's connected. So whatever I'm watching on the big screen, I can easily stream to the little screen. Or to any room in the house. Because every room is covered with ultra-fast Extreme Wi-Fi 360. Even this room, which isn't technically a room.
Only Extreme brings it all together. Speeds up to 1 gig, TV with TiVo, and whole home Wi-Fi. The difference is Extreme.
Really good promotion here tonight, too, as you see Dixie Wooten, the head coach of the Iowa Barnstormers, United Bowl champions a season ago, was also an assistant here under Mark Stout.
And then he had some terrific years as a player. So everything he's experienced as a player, as an assistant coach, now as a head coach, put to good use with the Iowa Barnstormers team. I happened to chat with him just for a couple minutes just before this game started. They have a bye week this week, and so he's coming up here to see, what Cedar Rapids has in store, and of course he knows what Sioux Falls is up to.
Talking about promotions, and Phil Parker, outstanding defensive coordinator for the Iowa Hawkeyes in the Party Suite area. Alvin Bell. So Reese Morgan over there.
So I suppose it's just casual, general conversation, or do you think we talk Iowa football while those guys are here?
I think there's probably a little Iowa football being discussed over there. And there they are. Seth Wallace as well. Alvin Bell talking to Coach Parker.
Well, I can imagine as they get into the game, they're talking to more people, get to know some of the fans that are out there. They're going to be absorbed by what's going on here in the football field. They're going to say, hey, that's some pretty good football they're playing up here in that indoor league. I think we've always enjoyed it.
Sure have. And spring football, not too far away for the Iowa Hawkeyes. Well, I think we're all ready for just being able to say the word spring.
Yeah, no doubt about it. It sounds more warm and dry. Rob, in this game, outside of the 48-yard kickoff return for a touchdown, each of these teams has scored on every possession. We've seen 8 plays run here in the second quarter, and we have 4 touchdowns.
Over 50 points scored here in a little bit over 1 quarter of football.
So as we've seen in various levels of football, how the offenses, as prolific as they are, certainly can outshine the defenses, and that's against a pretty good defense.
Odek, an outstanding athlete. Davis gets out to the 20-yard line.
Talked about Mark Stout, a proponent of the running game. Does a nice job to mix up his plays. He doesn't always throw on first down, doesn't always run on first down, but depending on where the ball is located on the field, can sometimes dictate what he wants to do with it.
Second and 4. And not much there. That'll bring up third down. Walford comes in and makes a really nice play out of Middle Tennessee State. 2018 IFL All-First Team. 4th in the league in tackles with 88. And this was a play nicely done here.
Still picked up positive yardage. Palinek really is in charge of that offense. He knows where everybody is. He knows where his safety valve passes are, and he's picked up his running backs out of the backfield numerous times.
And not much there, and that's going to be short of the first down. Another big hit in there by Hepthorne.
Got a sweep option out to the left side, just a toss sweep. Pull that tackle. They got the linebacker block, but wow, Hawthorne does a nice job to come up from that cornerback spot. Stop him in his tracks.
Sean Hawthorne. Deep, Wade, nobody home. Touchdown, River Kings.
So it's amazing he runs right by Deshaun Hawthorne. I think what he did is he set him up as like he was going to block, and then he took off downfield, and Hawthorne, you can see him standing there. Just loses sight of what his assignment is. You think on 4th down and 1, they're not going to throw for a touchdown.
That penalty decline, result touchdown.
Legal defense once again. Of course, that'll be declined by Markstown and the River Kings. And the pass play covers 27 yards. More points on the board for Cedar Rapids as they retake the lead.
Back and forth we go. The old pendulum is swinging quickly.
Here's the drop kick, and it is blocked. It looked like Claude Davis got in there. Now, Henry Nell, out of South Africa, is very proficient at the drop kick. So old school football here, but new school football right here on this pass play.
Markel Wade just ran right by Hawthorne downfield for the score, the easy score on the 4th down and 1 play. And something we have never seen in indoor football league is a drop kick. It's always been in, as part of the game if you want to, but nobody's ever had a chance to use it. And probably that is why, because I think sometimes, because the drop kick probably would be more prone to being blocked. I'm guessing here.
But it's difficult to do.
Well, you're standing 6 to 7 yards back behind the line of scrimmage, and you get a snap. I mean, you don't have to worry about the holder putting it down. You take it your 2 steps and you kick it and you catch it, drop kick it. I think maybe poor blocking up front allowed Davis to get through.
And the advantage to doing it is you get more points.
But 2 and a field goal when they try one of those is 4.
4 points, so you get, it's like a 2-point conversion. And then if you're ever down by 4, tie things up, you feel like you got somebody that can do it at the end of the game. It's happened before in the league, but not very often. But Nell is very capable of doing it and has done it well in camp so far. On the move again is Chapman. And finally looked like he was shoved out of bounds just short of the goal line. As Phillips, a game touchdown-saving tackle during the second quarter of the ball game after a 43-yard explosive return.
And if he fumbles it, even picks it up at the 6-yard line. And again, through that first wave of defenders, you see at the bottom of your screen, blocking and Chapman with speed. Fortunately for the River Kings, he gets knocked out of bounds at the 1-yard line.
Well, we've seen some remarkable defensive stands in this arena before.
This will be probably one of the best if they can get it done here. 4 straight plays.
And nothing there for Brown. They've been brought big Claude Davis into the backfield at 6'5", 265 to try to shove him into the end zone. Meaning Brown, and that didn't work.
Making the initial hit was Branch immediately. They stuffed that middle. You can't force it out of there. Like you see right in the middle. They clog it up, and there's Jeff Branch getting on to Lorenzo Brown.
And no penetration at all. Well, Brown will work out of the shotgun. And this play isn't going to work either, as there's nothing there for Miller and Tough Johnson.
He read it beautifully. Look good. He was coming right across the formation right there, because the man he was in charge of, Miller, was in motion. So that allows him to do it. Otherwise, he can't cross the formation like that unless the man he's assigned to does the same thing.
And that's a veteran move by a veteran player. Jerry going full speed, no hesitation, right to the football.
Well, you know, Darian Miller's going to run the football quite a bit, so they knew he was going to get the football.
Flag comes out, and Brown completes the pass, but short. Ford on the reception. Garrison there defensively will sort out the latest flag. This will be a big call here.
There's 2 penalties on the play, both on the defense. Legal defense. Number 33 inside the box, not Mary. That penalty's declined. Illegal defense. Number 7. That penalty forced half the distance. Replay, 3rd down.
So he may have tried to do the same thing. They talk about Tough Johnson on that last play when he maybe crossed the formation, defensive formation. I mean, there's only 2 things he can do. He either can crouch too close to the line of scrimmage or cross the formation illegally.
Still 3rd and goal. Brown will work out of the shotgun. Pitches it to Miller, and he's going to be short of the end zone. Boy, terrific defense in there by Branch. He's made a couple of big plays on this drive.
Getting after the football, he really is. You called it, Rob. It would be one of the biggest defensive stands in Cedar Rapids history. Look at and you know, Branch even being held. He still fights his way to throw the ball carrier 4. No gain.
So 4th down, and it looks like the Storm will go for 3 as they bring Miles Bergner to set up for a field goal attempt. Pretty much an extra point, 14 yards. And it is perfect. That ball actually hit one of the seats and came back into the playing field.
The bar was across the top of the 2 uprights, so it collided with it, came straight down, nearly hits a fan. He didn't even have time to react to get his hands out there to catch it. Hit that the seat behind him and bounce back on the field.
That's a terrific job again by this Cedar Rapids defense.
Absolutely. You have a 1st and goal at the 1 yard line. It's 90% of the time you're going to score. But out on that possession, all we got is a tie score. So how much momentum was gained by Sioux Falls?
I think that says something too about Sioux Falls and their respect for the way that this Cedar Rapids defense has been playing, especially inside the 10-yard line, and not going for the touchdown and taking the 3 points.
They don't want to lose any advantage whatsoever. Plus you got the whole half to go, so just get some points out of the possession.
Wade again. Makes one miss. Plenty of white jerseys flying to the football. So Hawthorne was there first for Sioux Falls.
Crossing the field this time, he ran into some white jersey traffic. About to let him get loose on a big return there. Nevertheless, the way the Cedar Rapids offense has been playing, Rob, at the 12-yard line, nice field position.
Started off, both teams were able to get past the 25. But both teams have shown the ability to strike with long pass plays in their offense. Here's Smith. Well, that ball got on him in a hurry, able to make the catch. Just outside of the 15-yard line, his second grab of the ball game.
Very safe first down play, 4-yard pass completion. Almost to the point where you can come back and run the same play, do it again. They're giving enough cushion out here. Driving the defensive back off the line of scrimmage. Hook pattern, here comes that pass. You got another 4 or 5 yard gain.
Kurt Palandek gets used to the indoor game. One of the nice things about Many here in the first half, he really hasn't forced anything so far.
Nothing.
Big hit as Kimbrough gets the carry. Young on the stop for Sioux Falls.
Foy had a hand in knocking him to the ground too. Foy tried to get across the line of scrimmage. You see 60 Foy coming across. And nobody to block, and he took his own man. That's a massive man right there to run into if you're a running back, especially your own player.
Lynn Young, West Texas, vying for that starting linebacker position for Sioux Falls. Another catch at the 25, and now the ball is loose. Wade trying to get a couple extra yards, coughs it up, and it looks like it is going to be Sioux Falls football. Coming away with it is Charles Williams.
Well, just the unfortunate fumble right here. Wade does a nice job to catch it, make the first down, and as he continues to strive for more yardage.
That Scott just gets in there and rips the football away.
Yep. That's Lorenzo Brown. Oh, no, you're right. Excuse me. DeAndre Scott.
So the River Kings defense will be called upon again as the clock winds down inside of 1:10 left to go. And our first turnover of the ball game.
Wasn't a bad throw and an interception. Wasn't a dropped ball. Just defense did a great job. Charles Williams of ripping that ball out of the arms of Markel Wade.
There's the turnovers. First one of the ball game. Costly for Cedar Rapids as we have reached the 1-minute warning.
They had taken the lead at 34-31 and then had a nice defensive stand at their own 1-yard line. Held Sioux Falls to only a field goal to tie the game.
All tied up at 34. We'll be back for the completion of the second quarter after this on MC 22.
Mediacom, we took our internet to the extreme, building you a fiber-rich network that gives you the hyper-speed you need. 100% gigabit technology, 99% reliability. We wanted to bring you the best streaming, gaming, music, and more. And we're proud to be recognized a top internet provider again and again and again. Thank you for making us your #1 choice. We're proud to take you to the extreme.
With Extreme, everything's connected. So whatever I'm watching on the big screen, I can easily stream to the little screen. Or to any room in the house. Because every room is covered with ultra-fast Extreme Wi-Fi 360. Even this room, which isn't technically a room.
Only Extreme brings it all together. Speeds up to 1 gig, TV with TiVo, and whole home Wi-Fi. The difference is extreme.
Rob Brooks and Jerry Koala back inside the U.S. Sailor Center in Cedar Rapids, and a terrific first half of action that we have seen so far. We're tied at 34, and everybody so far, Jerry, having a good time here. The debut of the River Kings.
That's why you come to a sporting event, is to have a great time. See some, a great play out on the field because it's football. Promotions in between timeouts, stoppages of play. Concessions, socializing. There's the new dance team.
They're all smiles, performed before action tonight. I'm sure we'll see them at halftime as well. So after the 1-minute warning, first turnover of the ball game goes the way, the advantage for Sioux Falls. Talked about Lorenzo Brown and what he has meant for the Storm franchise. He was second-team All-IFL a season ago. He started in 4 straight United Bowls. As far as active players, he's the leader in 4 different categories. He'll hand it off this time. A tough couple of yards for Miller. Huff Johnson, along with Isaiah Matthews. Brown goes to the end zone, incomplete. Shepard, first player I think that has gone completely over the boards, and as Mark Stout likes to say, hey, if a player comes at you in the crowd, hey, throw them back. If a football comes at you, hey, go ahead and keep it.
One's more necessary than the other. Obviously, the athletes being tossed back over are the ones that need to be out there on the field. Going back to Lorenzo Brown, he just runs a good game. He just manages this offense. He's capable of taking over the game from the running standpoint. He can throw the football when he needs to, but he just runs the team like it needs to be run. Doesn't make any mistakes.
He is at the helm. You've just got a tremendous amount of comfort in just about every situation on the football field, and this is broken up. Tough play across the middle as Kent Shelby, 6'2" receiver out of McNeese State. Terrific FCS program. Had that one dislodged. Ricky Johnson there, along with Tough Johnson. Hey, 2 guys named that can really hit you.
Named Johnson sandwiched him, keeping him from coming down with that reception.
So 4th down and 9, and that results in another field goal attempt for Bergner. Last one was 14 in which he made. This one at 29. And that is the first miss of any type of kick tonight for Sioux Falls. And how about that? Defense rising to the occasion once again.
Doing their assignments, getting that adrenaline flow going, keeping that team out of the end zone. We've had our first turnover. Now we've had our first missed field goal. As the game goes on, we're going to have some of these. They're not going to be perfect the whole time because it's really been a perfect football game up to this point.
And there you just saw Joey Smith, the defensive coordinator. He was pumped up, as well he should be.
They work hard at knocking out that opposition offense. They work hard at reading their keys, stopping the run, defending on the pass, getting pressure on the quarterback. Each player doing their job, each facet of the game doing well.
Joey Smith, assistant for Mark Stout. previous stint here in Cedar Rapids, along with the King, Michael Custer. Great to see him back in Cedar Rapids. Was with Dixie Wooten for a season with the Iowa Barnstormers. But he and Mark Stout, talking about Michael Custer, have been around the block as far as indoor football is concerned. A lot of years together.
You know, you put two philosophies together like that, you get a lot done. You know, you have the same expectation. You're there to win. Michael Custer, Mark Stout, you know, two of the best. There are some really good ones out there, but they certainly are two of the best.
And how about the first half here? Terrific entertainment. Downtown Cedar Rapids tonight. Sioux Falls and Cedar Rapids all tied up at 34.
One gig is the future, and Mediacom provides the most complete coverage. America's first 100% 1 gig technology network, offering gigabit speeds in every market we serve. In town or out of town, big city or rural, you've got access to the fastest. We know the future will demand more speed, so we've built a network to give you the most. 1,500 communities, 2.7 million homes, 100% 1 gig.
It's time to get extreme. It's time for 1 gig download speeds and whole home Wi-Fi that's just as fast. It's time to experience TiVo and personalized TV that lets you live it live in any room. Every channel on every device. Your tablet, your cell, your call. Extreme packages with all-in-one TV and internet are on sale now. Experience the X Factor. Call 844-EXTREME-2.
Connecting every device, every room, and everyone. That's the power of Extreme. And it keeps getting better with a new multi-point Wi-Fi system that covers your whole home. So you get insanely fast speeds here, here, and here. An all-new standard of technology that makes every TV smarter. And new ways for you to connect with us, like being able to see when your tech will arrive. Technology is awesome. We take it to the extreme.
Extreme. It's the one thing that connects everything. Supercharging every device with hyperactive speeds up to 1 gig and supersonic whole home Wi-Fi. Bringing your favorite apps and favorite channels together in one hub. With Extreme voice-activated remote, search everything. Find anything. Now any screen is a TV screen, and every room has the hyperspeed you need. Your total home transformation is here. Experience Extreme.
Now
Angela Boy is up first.
Welcome back to the U.S. Sailor Center, downtown Cedar Rapids. We are at the half, opening night. AFL football for the River Kings. We're tied at 34. Well, Jerry, plenty of action as both teams have been electric on the offensive end, and Cedar Rapids, a couple of great defensive stands, I thought. Let's take a look at those highlights.
6 consecutive possessions produce scores for each team. Here's the first one as Darian Miller with a 4-yard touchdown run. Cedar Rapids comes right back, and it's Chavius, Nathaniel Chavius, and then it's a 31-yard field goal for Sioux Falls to kind of break the ice of touchdowns, but yet still a score. Then Cedar Rapids would come right back with a 21-yard touchdown pass to Markel Wade from Kurt Pallenbeck. And then on the ensuing kickoff, it's Chapman with a return of 48 yards and a score for the Sioux Falls Storm. But Cedar Rapids comes right back. Here's a pass right down the middle to Jordan Smith, covering 21 yards and a score. But Sioux Falls would come right back after Branch misses the tackle there. It's Darian Miller off to the races and a 33-yard touchdown run for Sioux Falls. But again, the River Kings come right back. Great ball fake right there by Kurt Pallenbeck and a 10-yard touchdown run. And then it's a pass across the middle for Sioux Falls to Brandon Shepard, covering 24 yards and a touchdown. But here comes Pallenbeck and the Cedar Rapids River Kings. Markel Wade with the second touchdown reception of the first half. How about Tuff Johnson on a tackle for loss right there, reading it beautifully, keeping this Sioux Falls Storm offense to a field goal at that time only. And that's how we ended that first half. The defense did shine a couple times when they necessarily had to, as the offense coughed the ball up one time.
And you see the rushing yard just about even. Cedar Rapids with 130 passing yards and 172 total offense, and doing a really good job on third downs, and have been able to move the football with 9 first downs. Third quarter action comes your way next. We're tied at 34 on MC22.
Connecting every device, every room, and everyone. That's the power of Extreme. And it keeps getting better with a new multi-point Wi-Fi system that covers your whole home. So you get insanely fast speeds here, here, and here. An all-new standard of technology that makes every TV smarter. And new ways for you to connect with us, like being able to see when your tech will arrive. Technology is awesome. We take it to the extreme.
We're tied at 34, getting set for the third quarter. Sioux Falls and the Cedar Rapids River Kings. Rob Brooks, along with Jerry Cole. Thanks so much for joining us inside the U.S. Sailor Center here in Cedar Rapids. Ready to get another season kicked off.
I was absolutely enthused coming into this season, knowing what the management staff has done for this new ownership of Cedar Rapids River Kings organization. They've done a nice job to get out into the city, and you got to create those relationships with people. You want them to support you. They've done that immediately from the moment that the new owners came in up to game number 1.
And that will up out of bounds. So Cedar Rapids will start with the football first.
Oh, no, don't throw it back. It's yours. She goes, it's mine? I can really have this? Take this home?
You sure? You sure? Not easy to get. You've got to hang on to that one.
Well, we'll see what kind of condition that these teams are in. It's still the first game. They've got a long way to go really to get into some terrific football shape. They've both exerted a ton of energy in that first half.
Kurt Palandek, terrific first half, 11 out of 13 for 130 yards. A safe play for Cedar Rapids as Chavius.
Watching Kyle Saxon, the 6'8", 310-pounder on that left side. He just rolled the defensive end out there. Charles Williams drove him back and rolled him into the ground, and then he helped him back up. And you know what he said to him, Rob? See you next play. Back and do this
we'll do it again. Offensive line, both sides. Did a really good job. And Cedar Rapids has a returner. A couple for the Storm. Short connection as Kimbrough able to make the catch. And he is greeted by DeAndre Scott.
And rudely thrown into the wall there to get him out of bounds. But it's football. There's got to be some contact. Allenbeck doing a nice job of quickly getting that pass out in that hook area.
And that's the other thing that you have to get used to, especially with the indoor game, is that contact up against the boards. And knowing when to break off those routes before you get there, because it's so quick on the short field. Those boards will come up and greet you rudely, quickly. Across the middle, nice catch. And Jordan Smith able to hang on to it. And that is his third catch of the ball game. Had a couple in the first half for 33 yards plus a touchdown.
He just got drilled by Richard Dickerson. You'll see it here. Nice pass by Palandek, and Jordan Smith had to go up and get it. And here comes Dickerson right there with the shoulder pad into the ribs on the backside. Does a nice job to hang on to it.
Dickerson at 5'9", 190 out of Emporia State. Another first down. That's the 10th of the ball game for Cedar Rapids. Chavius. Maybe two. There's Charles Williams from his defensive end spot. And on the tackle.
Quick as a cat as Chavius is trying to get to the outside. See him fight off the block. You don't have a lot of time to change direction. You almost have to know instinctively where you're going to go and not change any direction. And if you have to change, you have to be so cat quick. You don't have a lot of time.
On deck deep, and had a receiver open. Kimbrough open on the opposite side of the field as well. Smith, the intended receiver. That'll bring up third down.
Kind of becoming a go-to guy is Jordan Smith, and had Palandek surveyed the entire field, he would have found Kimbrough on the other side, wide open.
Smith had 44 catches for 363 in Cedar Rapids last year. Kimbrough wide right. And they look that way, and the big 6'4" receiver goes upstairs to grab that one. Nice catch.
Delivered high. Kimbrough, like you said, at 6'4", can get off the ground and see Palandek looking right at him. But they just wanted to do a short route. They just needed to pick up some yardage.
And Scott right there. Make sure nothing more. So Nell will come on for a long field goal attempt of 35 yards. And it is good. the kicker from South Africa. Having quite a night.
Good snap, good hold. He's got a nice leg. Never seen a field goal leg like that for a few years.
But we've seen some good ones here.
We've seen a lot of good ones. Cedar Rapids.
Good out of that drive for the River Kings to at least get 3.
Started at their own 5. Ran 6 plays and got all the way to the Sioux Falls 23-yard line. 22 yards on the drive and end up with a 35-yard field goal. You always want to get something out of a possession. And if they can start kicking field goals, as we go throughout the season and as the River Kings play through this season, they're going to be kicking longer field goals. I mean, we've seen them try to kick field goals from a goal line, which would end up being a 55-yarder. So it's just a very important part of the game.
Cedar Rapids with a 3-point advantage. This one goes into row 1.
He intentionally did that.
Free kick out of bounds. That's Cedar Rapids' first time. Ball be placed 20-yard line. First down, Sioux Falls.
Looked like it might have been an Iowa Barnstormer fan.
He does have that yellow goal rag, doesn't he?
20, guys, 20. 20.
He's out here tonight. I think he's got a Barnstormers shirt on. It's developed into quite a rivalry. And then when you talk about the IFL, Jerry, you mentioned at the top of the show that part of it is how good the league looks this year. I mean, you have a team in the Quad Cities and Cedar Rapids. Also Des Moines. Great for the state of Iowa. And also all areas of the Quad Cities. But then you've still got Green Bay and also Sioux Falls, which have developed terrific rivalries with the Cedar Rapids franchise. And then now a component out west.
San Diego, Tucson, Arizona. 10 full teams in the league.
And Phoenix, the Arizona Rattlers, who won it all back in 2017. And then Bismarck, as we take a look at the map. So there's good Midwestern grouping of teams. And then we've got the Strike Force, the Rattlers, and the Tucson Sugar Skulls out on the West Coast.
It's just important that the league itself is just so stable. The more stable it is, the more appealing it is for fan support.
Cedar Rapids, their next game will be at Arizona on March the 3rd. Brown. And that's what he can really do well. Took some punishment there. Slater in on the stop for Cedar Rapids. Also, Banford. He's had a really nice evening so far.
Yeah, Banford's strong man at the defensive end position. Kind of a Xavier Jackson type player. He really wants to get after it. He can pressure and he can drop quarterbacks for loss. That was his forte when he was playing collegiate.
Western Carolina. Brown tries to break free, but in hot pursuit, Jeff Branch, among others, for Cedar Rapids.
Seeing a little bit more of Lorenzo Brown activity here in this possession. Certainly has produced enough of that over the years that he's been a Sioux Falls Storm football athlete. But Cedar Rapids, the River Kings, have 4 blue jerseys right there on him. Watch him as he gets close to the wall.
Let's get a stop here, River Kings.
Better than let him loose.
Banford digs in. He's got a lot of arena football experience. 4 seasons of the Indoor Football League. Across the middle, and flags fly. Miller is socked by Ricky Johnson.
those are the dangerous hits. Those running backs coming out of the backfield. 2 penalty markers come at the same time.
Holding. Number 77 offense. That penalty declined. 4th down.
Tough Johnson knows how to deliver the wood, though. Watch this. Lorenzo from the pocket a little bit. Miller can't get a handle on it. Fortunately, he had a step to turn and see Tough Johnson barreling down on him.
And Tough just waiting right there for him and dislodged that football.
That's a perfect hit, though, using the shoulder pad.
It would have been targeting probably in the NFL.
Yeah, they would have found a way to get it.
45-yard field goal attempt. Bergner, plenty of distance, and it is no good. Didn't miss by much.
It's off to the left a little bit. He did have a lot of leg on that. Looks like he's fairly accurate. We've seen a lot of their accuracy. Remember a guy by the name of Parker Douglas, who was there for 2 or 3, maybe 4 years. As you alluded to it back earlier in this broadcast. When you have that many extra points, you don't have a lot of time to take a break. On the sideline, these guys are out in the field an awful lot when you're scoring lots of points.
Well, Rockne Belmonte here.
That's right. He was the one I was trying to think about when you said many good ones.
One of the best kickers. Played his collegiate football at Northern Michigan. He was an all-IFL performer.
See what this game comes down to, Rob. In that first half, we were seeing touchdowns every possession. You get a field goal in there. Now we haven't seen a lot of anything. The defenses have stepped up.
Cedar Rapids with 3 on the board here in the third to take a 37-34 lead. As Phillips gets a carry. One of the final cuts, Green Bay Packers out of UNC Charlotte. For Charlotte, who's their career rushing yards leader, over 4,000. And also set school marks, touchdowns with 43 and rushing touchdowns with 41.
Williams made sure he didn't get any of those back on that one. Williams unblocked in the defensive end position. Yeah, as you look through the profile of these players, Rob, there are some very, very incredible athletes.
That's where Mark Stout has talked about. This is as much talent as he's had, though young, in an indoor football season. Allendeck gets very close to the chains, and that will be good enough to move them. First down for Cedar Rapids.
That's such a weapon to have your quarterback be able to get out of the pocket. If you can't find anybody to throw to, he gets out of the pocket and runs for a first down. He's showed some great speed, very fleet-footed. Quickly gets downfield, beats the linebacker O'Neal to the spot. First down.
UNLV threw for 728 yards and 9 touchdowns. Also played some baseball, which lends to the discussion what a terrific athlete he is. And can take a hit as well as he gets out past the 20-yard line.
You're not going to take too many of those. He's not very big. It doesn't look as if he's too durable. Got a great block, though, from Phillips just in front of him. Watch his quarterback draw. Watch Phillips take on Neal right there. Opened up a few more yards. Now they finished off by Wofford. Now before he picks up 7. He'll take 7 yards on a first down play.
Wofford, the 2017 IFL Defensive Rookie of the Year. Mark Stout likened Allendeck to Spencer Olm, who had a terrific year for Mark Stout in Cedar Rapids. Really good arm, but could take off and run the football. This one batted at the line of scrimmage.
Gets his hands up. He's a little small guy. You see him off to the right side. Just the right kind of timing. 6'5", 265. Throw that reach in there. Find a way to get that ball around those athletes.
he is first among active IFL players with 19.5 career sacks. We all know who the leader is.
One Xavier Jackson. But Davis making his own mark.
Here they come. And the sack as Daylin Young was on the move, untouched, and took care of Palandek.
Daylin Young, the other linebacker that's going to get some playing time. As Curtis Riggs told us he would get some time in here. Just shoots right up the middle. So somewhere, running back had to have been floating around a few yards downfield, and Palandek just unable to find him.
Did a good job to hang on to the football. Long field goal attempt is wide to the left. So that's the first field goal attempt missed tonight by Henry Nell. The only extra point he missed was a drop kick that was blocked.
It's from the 5-yard line. It's a 50-yard attempt. You can see the kind of leg he's got on it. He strikes it well enough. You can see the end over end spin of the ball, but just can't, that's only 10 feet apart, those uprights are. When you're standing underneath it, but when you're 50 yards away, looks like you've shrunk down to about a few yards.
He'll make a few of those this year.
Going to get some chances. Something that I talked about just not long ago. Eventually, you're going to, start attempting those long field goals that come in handy. You can make them.
No punting in this league. So you have to try to put something on the board. So Shepard pushed against the walls by Slater.
The idea now for Cedar Rapids, this River Kings defense is let nothing behind you, keep everything in front of you, and yet anticipate, come up with some turnovers.
Shepard's kind of been the go-to receiver so far for the Storm. As Miller nowhere to go as he found the running tough on the inside as he was greeted by Jeff Branch.
Branch again there, so quick off the ball. Once he sees that ball's handed off, he gets right to it. Knows how to leverage the offensive lineman and then fight him off, throw him off to get to the ball carrier.
Third and short. And Brown will just take it himself and plunge forward, and that'll be good enough to move the chains.
You got an all-league center in there, and Lawrence Martin leading the way. You're going to get a lot of first downs when you have third down and short.
Brown goes deep, has a receiver, but he got turned around as Kent Shelby was looking more over his left shoulder. The ball was thrown over to his right, then just kind of ran out of room as Branch for Cedar Rapids is down.
Sioux Falls is finding a way to get three receivers covered by two Cedar Rapids River Kings, and you see Shelby getting open. It's the one that Lorenzo Brown was able to find. It's the advantage that you can have when you get the right play call at the right time.
Branch is going to be okay.
They're exerting a lot of energy, Rob, so cramping starts to take place.
Where are you going?
Hydrated is vital.
Pushed out his team with a 3-point advantage, 37-34. Inside of 2 left to go in the third.
We also would like to thank you built on the foundation of passion for great beer. Let's give it up for number 10, Jeff Branch.
Second down. Brandon Shepard with the catch right here in front of us at the 25-yard line. That's midfield.
Hello to that Trevante Johnson. He's always trying to get in ahead of the opponent. He's giving him a nice, encouraging conversation.
Shepard, that's his 5th catch. He had 3 in the first half for 44 yards and a touchdown.
10-yard pickup on the first down, so we'll maintain possession.
Inside of a minute left to go. Inside of 10 on the play clock. And Miller. And a good tackle. Nice job by Garrison in the open field.
Yeah, he really did a nice job to get that shoulder pad into Miller. Miller has great running room. He went away from where the influential blocking was. Just got through the gap. Field hit.
That's the way to tackle. Isaiah Matthews looked like he had a cramp in that right leg.
Driving hard. Yeah, they're exerting, flexing those muscles.
Here's the home schedule for Cedar Rapids. March, plenty of action here as San Diego, Quad City, and the Iowa Barnstormers will all come to the U.S. Cellular Center. Make your plans. This is going to be a very fun team to watch.
Absolutely. Some great teams coming in to play against the River Kings.
2nd and 2. Let's see if the play clock expired or... That's going to be a delay of game. So now it will be 7 yards to go on 2nd down.
Just let the game clock run out here at the end of the 3rd quarter.
There's the penalties, 8 total tonight, 5 for 35 for Cedar Rapids. So Curtis Riggs and the Storm will face a 2nd down. 4th quarter action coming up next on MC22.
Our internet to the extreme, building you a fiber-rich network that gives you the hyper-speed you need. 100% gigabit technology, 99% reliability. We wanted to bring you the best streaming, gaming, music, and more. And we're proud to be recognized a top internet provider again and again and again. Thank you for making us your #1 choice. We're proud to take you to the extreme.
With Extreme, everything's connected. So whatever I'm watching on the big screen, I can easily stream to the little screen. Or to any room in the house. Because every room is covered with ultra-fast Extreme Wi-Fi 360. Even this room, which isn't technically a room.
Only Extreme brings it all together. Speeds up to 1 gig, TV with TiVo, and whole home Wi-Fi. The difference is Extreme.
Well, it seems like everybody, Jerry, having a good time here and getting set for the 4th quarter. Cedar Rapids by 3.
Youth and adults alike enjoying this season opener. They like football. People love football. And this definitely is all of football.
People having a good time in the party zone area. Ground across the middle, and it's caught by Miller. As he gets to the 5-yard line. Little quick hitter over the middle.
He's got right around the end. The Kings blitz in their linebacker from the middle, Malik Slater. I mean, that's just an easy read, an easy pass. Enough for a first down.
Pete Johnson there. Football veteran. Brown. And he is engulfed back to the 20-yard line. On the move for Cedar Rapids is Slater.
Now that time he didn't have anybody to throw to. Slater on top of him in a hurry. You'll see Malik coming right up the middle through the center. Well, it looked like he was going to have a receiver across the middle, but for whatever reason, unable to get rid of it. Slater pounds him into the ground at the 14.
Valdosta State sure puts a lot of good football players out there, and there's another one.
Yeah, a team that's won Division II national titles.
Here is Chapman. He gets much of it back and approaches the 5-yard line.
Brings up third down and long, so at least benefit to Cedar Rapids here. Controlling this Sioux Falls football team inside the red zone if they get there. And a couple nice defensive stands.
Third down, pitch to Miller. And good pursuit by Cedar Rapids as he is greeted at the 5-yard line.
Lead option to the left, Ricky Johnson. Great job coming up from that cornerback position. You'll see Lorenzo taking a step, bringing the defensive end to him. Look at Ricky Johnson fight off that block, driving him back. Another excellent stand by this Cedar Rapids Titans defense.
And that'll force another field goal attempt for Sioux Falls. Bergner, attempt of 17 yards. And to tie the game. And he does so. So put 3 on the board for Sioux Falls. And we're tied at 37. 12-7 left to go. Competitive IFL football opener.
One gig is the future, and Mediacom provides the most complete coverage. America's first 100% 1 gig technology network, offering gigabit speeds in every market we serve. In town or out of town, big city or rural, you've got access to the fastest. We know the future will demand more speed, so we've built a network to give you the most. 1,500 communities, 2.7 million homes, 100% 1 gig.
Connecting every device, every room, and everyone. That's the power of Extreme. And it keeps getting better with a new multi-point Wi-Fi system that covers your whole home. So you get insanely fast speeds here, here, and here. An all-new standard of technology that makes every TV smarter. And new ways for you to connect with us, like being able to see when your tech will arrive. Technology is awesome. We take it to the extreme.
Cedar Rapids with Wade and Travius back deep. They will await the Bergner kick. This will be Chavius. Good job to get out past the 20-yard line. Driven down by DeAndre Scott.
Those are some of the most difficult we've seen at every level of kickoff returns. You got to gauge how deep the kickoff is to set up your blocks. You can see that the distance there is about right for him to get through that first wave of defenders. Give Cedar Rapids some excellent field position.
Kimbrough wide left. Across the middle, and it is caught. What a job by Markel Wade to go down toward his knees and make that catch.
Between cornerback and free safety, boy, Pelendek just placed that, I guess, perfectly, if you will. He picked out Wade from the very beginning. Had a lot of space down the middle. Right between defenders. Wade doing a nice job to concentrate to go down and get it.
Yeah, great concentration. Get those hands underneath the football. Wade had 5 catches for 65 yards and a couple of touchdowns in the first half. That's good for 26. Cedar Rapids a terrific opportunity to grab the lead. Chavias takes care of business. 6 on the board for the River Kings.
Well, it's a determination. This is great preparation coming in. Again, not only for the kind of plays you want to run and execute them, but now you're in the fourth quarter. You're going to take the lead on this offensive possession. These players, he's got winners on this football team, at least up to this point.
A nice job by the left side of that offensive line.
Yeah, Chavias just had everywhere to run. Didn't even get touched until he got inside the across the goal line.
And the extra point is good. Kyle Saxelid. What a terrific block. Watch this. 75.
Yep, seals that corner. I tell you.
Look at that.
Drives Williams back into the end zone. Does a nice job. Good footwork. Very strong, long arms. And once he gets locked onto, a defensive end that's 5 inches smaller than he is, he's going to control him.
Also out of UNLV. This is the quarterback, Kurt Allendeck. And Nate Chavias, 2 plays, 29 yards. Took a fraction over a minute, and Cedar Rapids now with a 44-37 lead. This defense, we talked about it, after giving up that long touchdown play. Back their first possession for the Storm. A couple big plays, but really have done a good job, especially inside the 10-yard line.
Doing assignment football. Everybody does their assignment. Be strong, hold your position, make good tackles, good tackling. Be successful.
Miller tripped up. Phillips down there doing the job special teams wise.
See Lamas coming in there as well. They got good coverage. If this ball bouncing around takes more time for them to pick it up, allows that kickoff team to get downfield more quickly. Worked out perfectly.
This is caught out toward the 15-yard line. Another reception for Brandon Shepard.
Just nickel and diamond things. They don't need to go for everything right now. It's a long way to go in this fourth quarter. They'll just down a touchdown and an extra point. Take what the defense will give you.
Harrison made sure he was up against the boards for Cedar Rapids. And a running play. Jeff Johnson all over Miller.
See the offensive lineman just gets smashed on here. Rafael Lamas landing on top of Lawrence Martin, center.
Johnson back in 2015. Second team All-IFL. This was with the Billings Outlaws, who won the United Bowl back in 08. And this will go against the Storm.
Prior to the snap, ball start offense, number 19, 5 yards, remains first down.
The two guys in motion on the right side, and for whatever reason, Shelby, the outside receiver, just flinched a little bit.
Let him move the ball back to the 13-yard line. So Sioux Falls will take a timeout. Curtis Riggs talk things over, and this isn't a team that is going to get rattled at this stage of the game. They've got a really experienced quarterback in Lorenzo Brown and good offensive line and players that obviously know how to win. They've been to the last two United Bowls, lost to the Barnstormers last year, 42-38, and then to Arizona in 2017, 50-41, but won 6 of them previous to those.
And some outstanding football teams.
I mean, think about that consistency.
Lost few football games during the regular season, although each of those years they lost here in Cedar Rapids during the regular season. It was just that the then Titans couldn't beat Sioux Falls in Sioux Falls, especially when it came down to the playoffs. Yeah, some just outstanding football teams that Sioux Falls has had over the years.
So here we go. Houston 15. Brown. And he'll just take off. And open field tackle by Eric Bamford.
Big 5 back. I mean, we've got a ways to go, but there's reason the panic here. Lorenzo does a nice job keeping it poised, stepping up in the pocket. Eluding Isaiah Matthews, but Bamford catching him from the backside. After he picked up 5 yards, there's Bamford down. Looks like exhausted out there.
Are you having a good time tonight?
Officials timeout. So that'll get Branch back in for Bamford, who's had a terrific night.
Favored the shoulder a little bit. That's not anything serious.
That left shoulder, trying to maneuver that around. And whistles will blow the play dead.
The play was stopped prior to the snap. We got to make sure the music is shut off when the center puts his hands on the football, please. Remains second down.
Enforcing a little music policy.
Well, we've been doing this a while. I'm not sure I've ever heard that one called before.
I'm with you. I've not heard that either, unless it's the wrong song. If they've got an AC/DC song.
Then you got to keep that going, right?
Right. Well, it is AC/DC.
There it is. time, and incomplete across the middle, tried to find Kent Shelby.
Had the right receiver, just threw the wrong pass. Lorenzo wants that one back. He had Shelby across the middle. Look how wide open he is. Right there.
Only thing, maybe Brown thought that Shelby was just going to settle in instead of going toward the defense.
Yeah, breaking down his pattern right there in the middle. Big play right here.
Third down. And Brown will take off. A designed run, and it is going to work all the way to the 20-yard line. That's one of the reasons why he is tied for the IFL all-time lead in rushing touchdowns with 97.
Set up that defense. He just saw the push right there to the right and to the left. Malik Slater is downfield 12 yards, just a little simple bump block on him. Lorenzo runs right through that for a first down.
Brown gets rid of it quickly, and this is Ford.
Took care of that wall. So again, on the first down play, they just do a simple 4 or 5 yard pickup just to move the ball downfield.
Much improved field. The turf purchased from Spokane. So it's first year here in Cedar Rapids, and Miller is greeted at the line of scrimmage. And Bamford back into the football game and makes his presence felt right away.
You can't get everybody blocked, and Bamford saw that it was going to be a deep ISO handoff. He just crashes down. Watch it, just crashing right down. It's right to Miller.
Boy, good solid hit. Winning football plays right there.
Had a great angle on him, so he could get his arms wrapped around him.
Brown across the middle and incomplete. Went for the 6'2 Shepherd that just couldn't get both hands on the football. So that's going to bring up fourth down as we take another look.
Just a simple play action. Just kind of trying to pinpoint that pass versus throwing it. He had a receiver back in there, and Shepherd. No hesitation on the part of Curtis Riggs to go for this on fourth down. He knows he needs to score.
And Brown will take off. Get to the 10-yard line.
Mark the ball right on top of the 10.
That was the play that got the Storm the first down into Cedar Rapids territory.
This is where Lorenzo Brown is so dangerous. He can just make things happen even on the short needs.
Hooked up there and got that ball like inside the 10-yard line. Cedar Rapids takes timeout. Well, Mark Stout, his hope was to get this game deep into the fourth quarter and have a chance at victory. And that's the case for the River Kings. We'll be back.
Gig is the future, and Mediacom provides the most complete coverage. America's first 100% 1 gig technology network, offering gigabit speeds in every market we serve. In town or out of town, big city or rural, you've got access to the fastest. We know the future will demand more speed, so we've built a network to give you the most. 1,500 communities, 2.7 million homes, 100% 1 gig.
Connecting every device, every room, and everyone. That's the power of Extreme. and it keeps getting better with a new multi-point Wi-Fi system that covers your whole home. So you get insanely fast speeds here, here, and here. An all-new standard of technology that makes every TV smarter, and new ways for you to connect with us, like being able to see when your tech will arrive. Technology is awesome. We take it to the extreme.
So after the Cedar Rapids timeout, (44-37), Cedar Rapids over Sioux Falls. And this situation, Jerry, is where Cedar Rapids has been really good inside the 10-yard line. They've been tough to score on tonight.
Have to continue to be that way. They got to keep their eyes up, find that football, take on the block, do your position, keep contained. Malik Slater in there, linebacker, has got to cover a lot of ground. He's got to step up a little bit more, but he has to cover a lot of ground. And those defensive backs have to lock on to wide receivers. Got to really look out for Lorenzo Brown here. It's probably where he could be that much more dangerous.
Well, that's the hard part about trying to play defense against the Storm, is you have to account for the quarterback, and their two biggest plays during this drive have been Lorenzo Brown runs. So it'll be first down for Sioux Falls. And the give to Shepard, and he breaks a tackle and gets into the end zone. Only one player had an opportunity.
Let's go.
That was Ricky Johnson. Well-designed play.
Absolutely. Coming across the formation, I was wondering if they were going to do some kind of misdirection. They were able to seal on the outside. Just a quick hitting play. Almost caught Cedar Rapids off guard. Again, that's where Malik Slater has to come into play as a linebacker.
And we're tied at 44 with 3:10 left to go.
You'll see this right across the defensive end, just crashed right down. Lavas doesn't even look for the football. You got to come across the line of scrimmage, fight off the block. See you got to see all movement back there in that offensive backfield. Just ran right by him.
So 10 plays, 42 yards. Well, that ate up a lot of time. 6:41.
Thing of beauty, wasn't it? Just simple little plays. They opened with the 8-yard pass to Shepard. Picked up the first down on the run. Had a 5-yard illegal procedure penalty. 5-yard gain by Lorenzo. You talked about a couple of the plays that he made. The big one was on the 3rd down and 10 when he ran for 12 yards, picking up the first down, and that led to that score.
Certainly plenty of time. Both teams have 2 of their 3 timeouts remaining. Bergner will kick this one out of play, and that will result in a flag.
Sometimes we get all caught up into following the flight of the football. We miss some of the action on the field. The rivalry is so good, and many of these players have never played in this game, and they realize just the intensity level between the two.
Well, that's what I was talking to Coach Dodd about that before the game. There's enough veterans, though, on this team, both Johnsons, Mosley, that have been around this league and know the story of Sioux Falls, where most of the young players wouldn't really have any idea how many games the Storm have won in the course of the time in the IFL, which can be good. First and 10. drop off to Phillips. That'll be a short gain. Neal, along with Robeson, get on the stop for the Storm.
Nice job covering downfield. And Neal, from his linebacker position, picking up Phillips out of the backfield, keeping it to a short game. You know, Neal he's got to serve two purposes here. He's got to make sure that Palendek is not running up the middle, but he also has to keep an eye on Phillips out of the backfield, so he has to kind of balance between his position.
Pickup of 2. This is tipped at the line of scrimmage. That Davis again got a hand on it.
It's 2 for him tonight here, and he's been disruptive in other ways as well. You see him out here in the bottom of your screen, just getting his arm up at the right time so that ball's being thrown.
Big third down here for Cedar Rapids. Palendek plenty of time. He's pursued from behind and brought down. Nice job by Charles Williams.
Well, again, he had Phillips right in the middle. Watch this Phillips if he slip right into the middle. Right here, he's open right there. Now, he wanted to go to him. I'm not quite sure why he didn't. It's obviously a much better result of a play with a pass to Phillips than what happened.
And Sioux Falls takes time out with 1:04 left to go.
Looks as if Cedar Rapids is going to go for it here on 4th down as Palendek talking to Mark Stout on the far side.
Certainly no given if you can get the 3 points. I think if you're Coach Stout, you have to play aggressive here at the end. Knowing that both teams have been very difficult to stop tonight.
Well, I think if you missed the field goal, at least the Sioux Falls would have worse field position as if they missed the 4th down here. And that opens up the doors for Sioux Falls to kick a short field goal or go in for a touchdown, although we do have the 1 minute timeout coming up here shortly. All they need is...
And now they have brought Nell out on the field, so indeed there will be a field goal attempt. Certainly has the leg. And it is wide to the left, so he misses it from 39.
Well, you see Davis come flying in there right up the middle, almost intimidating Nell to the point where he's going to miss it.
So there is the 1 minute timeout. It will be Sioux Falls with the football when we come back.
One gig is the future, and Mediacom provides the most complete coverage. America's first 100% 1 gig technology network, offering gigabit speeds in every market we serve. In town or out of town, big city or rural, you've got access to the fastest. We know the future will demand more speed, so we've built a network to give you the most. 1,500 communities, 2.7 million homes, 100% 1 gig.
Connecting every device, every room, and everyone. That's the power of Extreme, and it keeps getting better with a new multi-point Wi-Fi system that covers your whole home. So you get insanely fast speeds here, here, and here. An all-new standard of technology that makes every TV smarter, and new ways for you to connect with us, like being able to see when your tech will arrive. Technology is awesome. We take it to the extreme.
1,117 in attendance tonight. They have been thoroughly entertained. We're tied at 44.
Glued to their seat. They haven't moved. Nobody's left. Phil Parker's still here.
Got defensive coordinator Kelvin Bell as well. Sioux Falls has not turned the ball over. Wallace back to us.
It's interesting. Each of these teams, Rob, have had identical results of their possessions in this half. Field goal, touchdown, missed field goal. Field goal, touchdown, missed field goal.
After we were tied at 34 after 2 quarters. Brown goes deep, and it's incomplete. Tried to catch Miller across the middle. But Newbold was there with him, stride for stride.
Slip it between both Newbold and Ricky Johnson. And you see Miller right there in the slot on the right. Maybe he would have just broken that pattern off. Just run it deep in.
Brown under pressure. Gets away out to the 10. Good pursuit by Matthews.
Now it's a 3rd down in medium range, but 3rd down and 5. That clock is continuing to move. You see Lorenzo avoid the rush here. Offensive line doing a nice job of not picking up any penalties with him in the end zone trying to throw.
And Brown gets it across the middle, and that's Shepard. Slater and Newbold make the stop. Now 15.5 left to go. And it will be first down for Sioux Falls. Spike the ball. Seemed to be some confusion as to what Sioux Falls wanted to do there.
Well, I saw Curtis Riggs talking to Lorenzo before the ball was even snapped and the chains were even moved, that he wanted to down it. And Lorenzo he thought maybe he was going to take the clock down to 2 or 3 seconds. They were just going to kick the field goal. So it looks to me as if they're going to try to run another play, get 5-10 yards closer, take their final time out.
Figured that might be a good spot for the Lorenzo Brown draw. And they did not get the playoff in time as the play clock shows 0.
Had that happen a couple times tonight, but this is the worst of the incidents.
Prior to the snap, delay game offense, number 8. 5-yard penalty. Will the clock operator please reset the game clock to 12.1 seconds? 12.1 seconds on the clock, please.
Curtis Riggs, 17th year. He's only lost 23 regular season games. And there's the draw with Brown. And he'll near the 20. And we've got a River Kings player down. As Sioux Falls will take their 3rd and final timeout.
Top installations are
2 seconds left to go. It's all set up for Sioux Falls to win it, or we will head to OT.
We're looking at about a 31-yard field goal here, and it's not a sure thing, although no question that Bergner has the leg to make this.
And that is Isaiah Matthews. A little bit of assistance off the field. Well, he's played well tonight.
Number 16, Mitch Bergner, onto his advocate. You know what to do, Cedar Rapids.
So 33 yards. Lorenzo Brown will hold. Bergner, first team All-IFL last year. And Cedar Rapids will take time out.
Put him a little bit on ice here.
So Bergner last year was 22 of 34 in field goal attempts. Third in IFL scoring a season ago with 143.
Scored a lot of points. They score a lot of points every year. This is going to come down to the most important kick of the night and current year for this young man.
So now Mark Stout and Curtis Riggs, these two have faced each other through the years in the Indoor Football League.
That's some epic battles.
Yes, they have. And this has been another one. It has been back and forth for 4 quarters. So here we go. And it is good. Just slipped in through the right upright. And that will do it. Sioux Falls with a field goal on the last play of the game. Escape here in Cedar Rapids with a 47-44 game. We'll be back with the postgame in a moment.
One gig is the future, and Mediacom provides the most complete coverage. America's first 100% 1 gig technology network, offering gigabit speeds in every market we serve. In town or out of town, big city or rural, you've got access to the fastest. We know the future will demand more speed, so we've built a network to give you the most. 1,500 communities, 2.7 million homes, 100% 1 gig.
Connecting every device, every room, and everyone. That's the power of Extreme. And it keeps getting better with a new multi-point Wi-Fi system that covers your whole home. So you get insanely fast speeds here, here, and here. An all-new standard of technology that makes every TV smarter. And new ways for you to connect with us, like being able to see when your tech will arrive. Technology is awesome. We take it to the extreme.
At Mediacom, we took our internet to the extreme, building you a fiber-rich network that gives you the hyperspeed you need. 100% gigabit technology, 99% reliability. We wanted to bring you the best streaming, gaming, music, and more. And we're proud to be recognized a top internet provider again and again and again. Thank you for making us your #1 choice. We're proud to take you to the extreme.
With Extreme, everything's connected. So whatever I'm watching on the big screen, I can easily stream to the little screen. Or to any room in the house. Because every room is covered with ultra-fast Extreme Wi-Fi 360. Even this room, which isn't technically a room.
Only Extreme brings it all together. Speeds up to 1 gig, TV with TiVo, and whole home Wi-Fi. The difference is Extreme.
Tremendous football game as Sioux Falls defeats Cedar Rapids by the final score of 47-44 on a last-second field goal by Miles Bergner. Cedar Rapids had the ball previous to the Storm being able to kick that game-winning field goal and could not connect on a long-range field goal. And Bergner, all IFL from a season ago, was able to bury it, and certainly he had a tremendous night. But Cedar Rapids certainly showed a lot tonight, both offensively and defensively. Let's head down on the field as Jerry Koala has a couple of the stars from tonight's game, along with head coach Curtis Riggs.
There were a lot of stars here tonight, Rob, in this opener of the Indoor Football League for Sioux Falls and the Cedar Rapids River Kings. We'll have a Lorenzo Brown and Claude Davis and the winning field goal kicker, Miles Bergner. But head coach Curtis Riggs, I think you knew it was going to be difficult coming in here tonight, but I think your team persevered well enough, especially in that second half.
Our one goal was to get a win. We knew we were going to make mistakes. The inexcusable part for us, though, is our veteran guys making some mistakes that shouldn't happen. We got a lot of new guys, though, and you saw that in this game with both teams.
Lorenzo really came through when you needed him to. He just makes things happen when he has to. And this offense, I think, is going to come around. He got some nice receivers and a really pretty good running game.
I think you're making excuses for him. I thought he played awful. I did not think he played.
I didn't say he played good. I just said he did things for you.
He made plays when he had to, though, and that's the thing. I mean, he's such a competitor. He's been around for so long, and he knows. But some of it, too, though, is it looks like him, and it's some of the new guys trying to do things they don't need to do.
Defensively, it's just the first game of the year. We got a long way to go. And are you happy with the way they came to play tonight?
No, definitely not. I had a lot of communication mistakes. I mean, and we knew that was going to happen, but our goal was to not let it happen for touchdowns. And first half, we let it happen frequently. So we have a bye week. We'll address these things and try to get better for next week.
Well, so you got the first win of the year. That's better than having to work on a loss, huh?
It is, and it's on the road, and going into a bye week, it's tough when you lose going into a bye week.
All right, Coach, congratulations on the win. Safe drive on the way home.
Yeah, thank you.
Curtis Riggs, the head football coach for Sioux Falls Storm. Now we're going to talk to Claude Davis. Claude, this defense really came to play tonight. In spite of what Coach Riggs said, I think you guys played a pretty good game, under the circumstances that Cedar Rapids offense was executing pretty well.
Yes, sir. The first half was a little rough, a couple of missed calls and miscommunications, but got a good pep talk at halftime, and we came out and got a few stops, and that got the team rolling, so that was good for the young guys.
Yeah. Seems like when you needed to make a play, you did. You had a couple of knockdowns. You were chasing down running backs. What motivates you when you get on that field?
Just being a captain, man, and being a leader. I've been here 5 years now, so I know the game a little more than the younger guys, so I just put the team on my back, basically.
All right, Claude, congratulations on the win.
Thank you.
You guys have had Claude Davis making some great plays for Sioux Falls here tonight. Now we're going to talk to the gentleman with 1 second to go. You have a chance to kick a field goal. What's going through your mind?
Well, I try to keep nothing going through my mind, actually. I try to just not think about it too much and just kind of revert back to technique and form and just put it through the uprights.
So that was at the end of the game, but throughout the game you were having some extra points. You had a couple other field goals. Well, a couple that you missed. How does that affect you then when you're out of the game?
Compared to outside, the indoor game, you kind of understand that you're going to miss a couple more times. The goalposts are a little bit narrower, so so I just kind of approach it. Every kick's a new kick, and especially the pressure kicks, especially when you get down to the end of a game. You need to shut everything else out and just go back to form and technique.
Yeah, somebody was whispering in my ear about the hold. Any of those holds that weren't very good here tonight?
No, they were fine. I have one of the best holders in the country. I swear. I've seen this man put a ball down with one hand.
That's what he was wanting you to say, that he was the best in the country.
Yeah, he knows it too. So,
all right, Miles, congratulations on the win.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Miles Bergner with the field goal to win the game here tonight. And, Lorenzo, a 4-quarter game here tonight. You've been through a lot of these. How does this win feel to start this season?
Somewhat satisfying. Rough game on both sides of the ball. All 3 phases of the game for us. But that's expected, not an excuse. But when you got, 13 new guys coming in that's going to be, suiting up and playing, that hasn't been in our scheme and on our team, basically, it's going to be calling for a rough game. But that's what the tape is for. We were coming in with Cedar Rapids, the River Kings now with new coaching staff, not even having film on them, but that coach having film on us. So a little unfamiliarity to get used to on both sides of the ball. But, I'm happy that the guys seen what it takes to pull out a game like this, because this builds character, for the rest of the season. And we know what it feels like to be in these types of situations. So that's good to get that out the way early. You don't want those, but it's good to come out on top when you do have them.
Has it been easy to be patient with the young guys with your experience?
I've had to learn that, to be patient with them. I try not to be one to point anybody out in the game. You're supposed to sit a route down here, or if my lineman gets beat, or whatever the case is. But that's expected, and I gotta drink the Kool-Aid and go with the flow of things. And I think the group of guys that we have, they're competitive and they want to win, and they're eager to learn. It's just about getting the reps. So once we get that down, we'll catch our stride, and we'll get back to playing Storm football like how we've done these past so odd years.
All right. Well, game 1 win, great for you guys. Congratulations.
I appreciate it, man. Thanks you.
Quarterback Lorenzo Brown for the Sioux Falls Storm, Rob, as they take game number 1 and a hard-fought win over Cedar Rapids.
It sure was a fun way to open up the season. Both teams will have an opportunity to watch the film and get better in week 2. 47-44, Sioux Falls over Cedar Rapids. We'll be back to the U.S. Sailor Center to wrap things up after the break.
One gig is the future, and Mediacom provides the most complete coverage. America's first 100% 1 gig technology network, offering gigabit speeds in every market we serve. In town or out of town, big city or rural, you've got access to the fastest. We know the future will demand more speed, so we've built a network to give you the most. 1,500 communities, 2.7 million homes, 100% 1 gig.
Connecting every device, every room, and everyone. That's the power of Extreme. And it keeps getting better with a new multi-point Wi-Fi system that covers your whole home. So you get insanely fast speeds here, here, and here. An all-new standard of technology that makes every TV smarter. And new ways for you to connect with us, like being able to see when your tech will arrive. Technology is awesome. We take it to the extreme.
Cedar Rapids River Kings football on Mediacom MC22 is brought to you by the McGrath family of dealerships. Clifton, Larson, Allen. 5 Seasons Tire. Sally's on Broadway in Springville. Comfort Care Home Health Care. Clark's Health Mart Pharmacy. And by Extreme, powered by Mediacom. Sioux Falls wins the 2019 opener over Cedar Rapids at 47-44. And the first start in indoor football for Kurt Palandek, pretty successful. Even though in a loss, he was 16 of 21 for 180 yards and 3 touchdowns. Markel Wade caught 7 for 95 and 2 TDs. Lorenzo Brown, who Jerry talked to after the game, the winning quarterback for Sioux Falls, was 9 of 19 for 106. Miller rushed for 58, and Brown did for 41. 2 key maneuvers on that final drive. And Brandon Shepard, leading receiver for the Storm, he caught 7 for 86. And DeAndre Scott had 9 tackles for Sioux Falls. Tuff Johnson had 6, and Garrison also 6 for Cedar Rapids. So our next game right here on MC22 will be on the 9th of March, as Cedar Rapids will host the Strike Force. So you join us then. Cedar Rapids at Arizona on March the 3rd. Thanks so much for joining us for IFL football tonight. For our entire MC22 crew and my broadcast partner Jerry Koala, this is Rob Brooks. We'll talk to you on the 9th as Cedar Rapids will take on San Diego. Thanks for watching Mediacom MC22, your local programming leader.